Hello and a huge welcome. In this session, I want to talk about the 5 most common money myths that are actually holding you back from manifesting what you really want. And I work with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, and most of them have at least 1, 2, or sometimes even all 5 of them. So you're going to pay a lot of attention, because this can really help you accelerate your manifestations and help you manifest 100 times faster. Biggest thing that I've seen and observed and been told in the coaching industry, in the self-development industry, is that you have to be happy and high vibe to manifest what you want. And this is an ultimate lie. And those who really understand manifesting, those who have done it themselves, right? Because there are some people who are just teaching what they have read or what they have heard, and there are some people who have walked the walk. So those who have walked the walk would never teach you that. And the reason being, because the people who are really at masters at manifestation, they have manifested from their lowest point sometimes. They have manifested when they are feeling completely horrible about their life. So when clients come and start working with me, they tell me that I used to always think that until I've got my whole life sorted out, or until I'm happy all the time, I cannot even think of manifesting because it's not going to work, which is absolutely wrong. If that was the case, then all rich people will be happy and all poor people will be sad. So that's not true. Now, when it comes to manifesting the relationship, or if you focus on manifesting money, right, or health, whatever you want to manifest, what is actually creating the manifestation is your consciousness about that thing, not about happiness. Okay. So if you see yourself as rich today, not when money shows up, in fact, right now, then you have a wealthy consciousness and you're going to manifest money. Now, whether you're sad or whether you're happy or whether you're going through a tough time, whether you're going through other challenges in your life and you get really frustrated and annoyed, it doesn't matter, because you identify yourself as rich, and we always attract who we are at that moment in time, and who we are is what we are conscious of being at that time. So when you start to have that wealth consciousness, money will come to you no matter what, and you will take actions in alignment with the fact that you are already rich. So you will start that new thing, that you will go for that project, because your consciousness is allowing it, you're just going to receive what is already there for you, right? And happiness and sadness is not going to accelerate or stop that thing coming from you. And the same thing apply for health, apply for relationship. So you want to be high vibe to manifest? No. And when we talk about high vibe, you want to have high vibe for money, but high doesn't mean you want to be high, right? You don't want to be happy high. I mean, I would love for you to be happy all the time, but that's not the condition. So what I observe normally is that a lot of people who believe in that and who have been told that, they're so busy in being happy, but the money doesn't show up, and they're wondering, what am I going wrong? But if you are focusing on being happy, then you might attract more happiness, but not necessarily money, until you shift to wealth consciousness. And the problem is, when we are so focused on being happy, we are not even focusing on being aware of our money blocks, of where we are actually repelling money. We are not even focusing of like, what are we actually thinking about money? Because all we are told to do is to just switch off and focus on being happy, which is absolutely not going to serve you. So I have a video in my YouTube where if you search for it, it's called Why Being Focused on High Vibe is Actually Delaying Your Manifestation. So this is not serving you, this is actually delaying the whole process. So you want to focus on building a wealth consciousness instead of a happy consciousness. Of course, you want to attract a lot of happiness, but if you want to attract the thing, you have to build the consciousness for that thing and not happiness. Okay, that comes to the second point, which is delaying, is the idea of switching. Because we are so focused on being happy, that what we do is we start switching the thought. So we are like, oh, I can't think that, I need to switch, I need to completely switch, I need to be happy. So if I think about my blocks, or if I think about where am I repelling money, I'm going to be sad, and I can't do that. So I need to switch it completely and focus on being happy. And what we're actually doing is, because the fact that you had those thoughts, that means those thoughts are literally like a fume, and it's coming from that belief. It's like a fume of that belief. If the belief is there, that's when you'll have the fume. So you can, if you're just ignoring the fume and like, oh, there is no fire there, I'll be okay, I just need to switch it, you will be in a big problem, right? So instead of switching the fumes, you have to become aware and say, okay, this is giving me a hint, let me follow it, let me see where it's coming from. So when you see the fume, or when you see like you feel like, oh, I can smell some burning, you don't just ignore it, you say where it's coming from, where is this smell coming from? If you smell it in your kitchen or in your room, you're like, where is it coming from, what is burning, right? You don't switch it, you don't ignore it. So similarly, you want to go deeper and say, where is it coming from? Let me see where it's leading me, let me uncover that so that I can process it, I can rationally deal with it, I can process it, I can release it. And I have done a lot of content on releasing. Okay, so you want to really pay a lot of attention, because if you just switch it, it's still there, it's still creating a match for you in the physical, it's still creating a reality, because you're thinking, you're feeling, and you're acting in alignment with that. So although you can switch it for the time being, you've just muted it. In fact, now it's going to scream louder at you, it's going to impact how you're feeling, it's going to impact your actions subconsciously. So your actions are literally 100% a reflection of what you're conscious of being, your identity, and your thinking is actually showing you the awareness, and you're like, so I'm thinking that way, interesting, let me see where it's coming from, let me trace it back, let me see what belief is there, let me see what part of me is telling me that. So instead of switching, start releasing with awareness and give yourself the time to process it. Sometimes you have undealt emotions there, and you want to sit with yourself and feel it. If it means screaming out loud, don't scream at other people, but go out and scream, go on top of the mountain and scream your lungs out. Or maybe you want to cry it out, but let's not switch it, because switching is the worst thing that you've been told to do. The third thing which is really blocking your manifestation is affirmations. So I was doing a session in Wealth Fountain in my program, and I was really mentioning that and referring that when I was talking about embodiment, that when you say to yourself, I'm rich, I'm confident, I'm happy, I'm loved, I'm healthy, what does it mean? So for your mind, what does it mean? So at a conscious level, at an intellectual level, at a knowledge level, you're like, yeah, I'm rich, I know what rich means, okay. But your subconscious mind will only detect your feelings, and it's gonna put your body, which is actually moving right now, in a vibration of the thing you desire. So your body will start vibrating on the idea of being rich only when your mind knows what it's like to be rich. Okay, how does your most abundant version look like, feel like, be like? And until you don't know any of that, how would your mind will actually start to connect to that, start to internalize it? And this is the problem. We keep affirming, and we are just keeping it here, but it's not coming in our body. And we can only manifest who we are instead of what we just keep saying like robotically, right? So that's why affirmations don't work, because when you are affirming, first of all, because you haven't released the things which are against that idea, which you're already holding on to, those things are canceling them, and you're not even feeling that. So when you're saying I'm rich, it's like there's no feeling there, okay? And feeling is the secret, feeling is everything. And also, so that's being cancelled. And the other thing that's happening in sometimes, which is even worse, that when you say I'm rich, you're actually reminded by those things that you're holding on to that you're not rich. Look at your bank account, look at your life, look at the things, look how you're always worried about money. So it's like you have given your mind so much data which is contradictory, and now you're saying something else and it's just cancelled, and you're actually thinking the opposite and you're creating the opposite. So sometimes just by saying yourself that I'm rich, you're actually creating the opposite feeling for yourself, and you don't want to do that, because you'll manifest the opposite. So I had this guy who used to work for me, and he used to get exposed to this information, and he was really fascinated and intrigued. So he did this experiment where he kept telling himself, I'm rich and I'm abundant. And what he noticed was, because of this affirmation, he started to get robbed, people you started scamming him for money. He started losing money. And he was like, how is this possible? Because I'm actually affirming I'm rich. But he actually saw it for himself and proved, and we shared the learning with the wider community, that actually when you're saying that, you're activating the opposite feeling and you're being reminded that you're not. So instead of affirming, what you want to do is you want to see, what is my current belief system? What identity am I operating with? Who am I conscious of being? Let's release that and then ask ourselves, what is that version of us who is actually rich? How does it look like? How does it feel like? So you can give your mind a proper thing to work on, because our mind thinks in pictures. So when you say rich and there's no picture there, your mind is like, okay, what does it mean? It's not going to go in the subconscious, right? Thing that is the fifth thing, which is the most important, which is where all my work revolves around, because this is crazy important, is that you cannot just work on your mindset. So a lot of people say money mindset, right? Just by working on your mindset, you cannot be rich. And let me tell you why. Because the identity, the belief system that we operate with right now has gone from our mind to our body. It's gone from subconscious to unconscious. When we were growing up, when we were told those ideas about money, we were introduced to money in a very crazy way, right? In a very lack-oriented way. That became our subconscious. But when we lived by that for a long time, but when I say long time, I mean decades, right? It became your identity. And that behavior, that feelings are stored in your body, and they have gone way past your mind. Okay, that's why mindset tool like visualization, journaling, affirmations, that doesn't work, because your body cancels all of that. So when you say to yourself, I am rich, like if you say to yourself, like if you really affirm, I am a millionaire, then ask yourself, do I really agree with that? Like, does my body, if I go in my body and ask my body, am I a really millionaire? Or if you say to yourself, I'm going to manifest 1 million this month, what is the response your body gives you? What is the second thing that comes? It's like, no, you're not going to do that. Do you know how to do that? And a lot of people, then your body puts the question, how are you going to do that? And then you're worrying about like, how I'm going to do it? How? What is the way? Why your body is putting that question? Because you're not. And your body is trying to keep you safe by saying that, so you don't go through the pain of not manifesting that. But the thought that comes after the first thought or the affirmation or the idea is your attraction point, because that's what your body is telling you. So like Joe Dispenza says, that by the age you're 35, you're literally a memorized person of certain behaviors. Like all the things, all the patterns are actually stored in your body. It doesn't even involve your mind. So when you wake up in the morning, you don't think from your mind and say, do I need to brush my teeth? Should I do that today? Is it what? You just do it because it's in your body. When you drive your car, you're not thinking, you're just doing it because it's now all stored in the body. When you look at something and you're used to feeling that way, that's stored in your body. So when I say to you, can you access the feeling of like when money is running out, or a time in your life when money was actually running out? Like if you really access that, money is running out. Money is running out. Can you see like how you start to have feeling in your sacral or in your heart? You're like, I can feel it. Like it's almost like this feeling. But money is not running out. But even this phrase has a feeling in your body, stored in your body. That's why you could access it without even it happening in reality, right? So all these things are stored in your body. So when we do the mindset tools for money, the reason they fail is because that's a high level work. But you want to go in your body and release the stored emotions that have become unconscious, that don't even consult with your mind anymore, because you have lived by them for so long that your body's like, okay, I know what to do, I don't need to ask you, right? And we almost tend to lose our conscious control, okay, because we are so used to feeling that way. We want to look at like what kind of feelings we feel throughout my day. What do I really think about? What do I feel? So the things that you feel and think when you get up in the morning are stored in your body. So a lot of my clients come to me in the beginning when they're starting out. They tell me that when I get up, I just feel lack and I'm thinking of all the bills I need to pay. Why is it that you're doing it every single day without even consulting with your mind? Because if you consulted with your mind, you would know that's not the right thing for your money consciousness, right? But the reason you're doing it is because that's stored in your body. Then you're driving the car, you're feeling certain things. So you want to first of all take an audit and look at like, what am I feeling throughout the day? What am I really thinking? Because the mindset tools are not going to work until you release that from your body. Okay, so become aware, observe yourself like a reporter, like a journalist without judgment. I'm sure they judge, but like in a very objective way. Like, what am I really thinking throughout the day? What I actually think. And if you want to go deeper, like I would recommend writing a love letter to money, but not writing like you love money, almost like if you be very honest with money and write how you really feel about money. And there is something powerful about that letter that when you write it, you start to go in that flow where you're just writing it out, where you're unpacking and dumping it all in, right, in your letter. So you want to do that, and you want to write and ask yourself, how do I really feel? And you go on a rant to money and really uncover, unpack, observe yourself, become your biggest observer with curiosity, not with judgment, and see what are the feelings that you feel day in, day out about money, because they are stored in your body. They're led by your body. They don't even consult any part of you right now. Okay. What kind of ideas do you have about money? And if you write a love letter, you will know like when your relationship with money start to get a bit stringy and start to get a bit weird and start to get like a toxic relationship, that letter will tell you. So allow yourself to listen to your body and flow, because your body wisdom is the greatest wisdom to become wealth conscious, because that's where everything is starting now. It's not a mindset issue. And if there is somebody who's saying to you, I'm a mindset coach, I can help you with your money beliefs, they don't know what they're talking about, because it's not a mindset issue. Mindset will work. We layer the mindset piece when we deal with the body. Okay? So I hope you find it useful. Have a lovely time. Take care.